When we first opened the shop, this was one of the first things we did. It's a steampunk piece. We prefer Victorian science fiction because, well, it just sounds classier. So when we got the call from Alternate Reality for their steampunk game, we kept coming back to this basic geometry as our hero centerpiece for the whole room. So in all of my designs, I tried several versions of this. I tried hexagons, dodecagons, yes, that's a word, that's a 12-sided, all kinds of different geometry, and I kept coming back to the octagonal pedestal because it looks cool. So this will be, our main piece will be inspired by this, it'll be based on this with the interactive sides and all the weird steampunkness, yes. So I'm gonna go frame that up. Here I am in the belly of the whale carcass, skeleton all around me. Made the ribs here in half sections on the CNC, and you can see down here where we have them corrugated nailed together. Right here, the rib is coming this way, and the vertical piece is coming this way. So they're dado locked together, so that's a hard lock, and then that's backed up with glue and nails. We got pocket screws right here that are holding the face pieces onto it because we can't get nails in there because that'll be visible from the front, and we want to keep that nice and pretty. Before putting the skin on, the skeleton was a little bit wobbly, but still pretty sturdy. Now that we have all these pieces on here, it's got so many different axes of triangulation, and this thing's a tank now. We want to take our nice hero octagonal piece and raise it off the ground a little bit. This in cabinetry is called a kick. That's so you can kind of have your feet, you can be right up against a work surface and your feet kind of go under it. That's that little bit of the bottom of the cabinet. And this is our kick for the Octagon. And the main parts of the frame were designed and cut out on the CNC, and then it is all built up, and you can see I'm still using those same dados there. I could have done this where it was just the octagonal frame pieces and then just some spacers of wood that would go in there. It would not have been as straight and it would not have been as strong, so it takes some extra time, but this thing is damn near bomb-proof. One of the really iconic things with any kind of steampunk thing is lots and lots of brass. Brass trim, brass bolts and screws and bushings, and brass everywhere, so brass. I designed this on the computer and milled him out on the CNC machine. This is our corner cap for the Octagon, and these guys will be drilled out and bent on the brake press as well. So they'll be covering over the corners there.
Press brake.
Press brake, brake press. That thing that you go and bend stuff, that one. And that come up there, so that's kind of a quick mock-up of one of the corners. These will all be drilled out on the CNC before final installation so that all of our holes are nice and regular. And having done stuff like this in the past, before we had the CNC machine, like back in the dark ages, we would have to set up templates on the drill press with a little pin coming out of it, and you drill one hole, and you move it, and you pick your piece up, and you put it back on there, and that takes days. So we have a robot that does it for us, and that's awesome. So, by way of update, not much new to say about this that I haven't already said. I just wanted to show you a nice wide shot of it with a dog, because it looks pretty and we want to brag on it.
So far so good. We haven't screwed it up yet. So the top of the entire octagonal device is removable so you can get to all of the guts of it. So we're trying to build everything so that it can be disassembled and easily repaired, should that need arise. So the top sits inside the brass. The brass and all of its rivets make it look as though the entire machine is riveted together. And then these acorn nuts actually bolt down on top or screw down on top of the studs that actually hold this thing down. So remove these acorn nuts, pull the whole top off, but when it goes together, it looks like it is one riveted together device. Forgive me, this is to keep the lid from hyperextending and falling in. A stopper needs to be put in the back. We've found this little engraved Indian medallion, and this little toggle will sit inside of that. And we're actually gonna, this is not quite grand enough. So we're going to create a backer plate for this that'll augment this piece. That being said, what the device does is once all of its fuel is in place, once all the connections are made, I'm speaking in very broad terms intentionally, is it will create, it manufactures a product. And said product is dispensed for your convenience through this handy dispenser. So the interior of this, what I did was I upholstered it with a lined batting and then velvet on top of that. It's actually the same. I actually went back to Joann's, is where I got it from. If you're in the U.S., if not, it's just a shimmery velvet, and it's actually got a little stretch to it. It's the same stuff that we used in the inside of the Moloculus 98 case. So that fitted case that we made, that's the same stuff. The reason for this upholstery in here is that there's this nice upholstered bed is the product when it's dispensed, it is a precious commodity. And so it's basically a jewelry case is what this is. The inside lining is that sort of precious, soft, safe feel to be very gentle and delicate for said product, which I can't tell you anything more about. I am very happy with this.
Yes.
It is bigger than the Ambigulator, and it opens up to reveal
shinier.
a thing.
The thing we'll show you a passing shot through.
This brass plate is flush to the edge of the box, and it's actually a striker for the solenoid, so that you're not scuffing the wood and stuff like that.
Which we're not going to lock just yet because we have to hotwire it at the moment because the electro guts aren't in there at the moment.
If we're going to stop talking about it, then we can just let it close.
Okay.
Yay! So this is the decorative plate that Matt and Preston cut out. It's nailed in there with these beautiful little brass nails. And the one thing that this thing is missing right now that will be part of the installation is I'm going to get a brass flange, and there'll be a copper pipe going up to the ceiling. So it'll have a smokestack. That's actually to supply power to it because this is going to be sitting in the middle of the room. So that's not here. I'll grab that tomorrow, but installation's about to happen, so that'll all just go in that fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, before you go, we got a new load of T-shirts in, and we figure we got some extras, so we can give a couple away. One of them is already designated for you know who you are, and
you know what you did.
Come on, and then so. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. Those three things together will enter you into free T-shirt. Yay!
We have an arbitrary algorithm where we're like, that guy.
Yeah. Sneak a peek behind Matt. That's the next video. It's all been happening simultaneously, but we have to spread the videos out. So that'll be released next week. See you next week, and tell your brother meet me on Thursday. I don't know.